Hi, and welcome to Conan Exiles, Age of Calamitous, Crafting Quickies. In this video, I'm going to show you the best way to make oil, and just a heads up that this is applicable to vanilla Conan Exiles and the Age of Calamitous. So, let's get to it. Alright, so to start the process of making oil, we need to have the base material for it. And the material that we need is Ichor. And there is one creature in the world of Conan Exiles that yields a lot of Ichor, and that is the Komodo. So there's a lot of resources for Ichor. You have the Komodo, you have the spiders, you also have salamanders, and you can also press putrid meat to create Ichor, but we're just talking about the best yield or the best resources in this video. All right, so Komodo, you can find a lot of Komodos in the dregs. Here we go. And in order for you to get in the dregs, you need to do a human sacrifice just like this. Alright, now aside from the dregs, you can also find Komodos in the jungle, specifically in this area. So let's see, that's around L6 and L5. So just around this area, you can see a lot of Komodos as well. Alright, so let's see. I'll show you how much you can get from one Komodo so that you don't have to do any pressing or waste your time with the salamanders as well. So let's just kill that. And I'm using a black blood pick because this is the highest for the vanilla without the mod for Age of Calamitous, so that you can see a benchmark on how many you can get. There we go. So one Komodo gave me 83. All right, so let's just throw the others. Let's kill one more. Here we go. And now we got 166. So that's another 83 if I'm not mistaken. So using the black blood, which is the highest pick for the vanilla Conan Exiles, you can get 83 Ichor from each Komodos. And if I'm not mistaken, there are 2, 3, 4, 5. I see 5 already right there. And then I also see 2 in there. So 7 more or less if we missed something. Just make sure that you don't aggro this guy. This is an Iwa boss. If ever you have an Iwa mod in your server, you should be fine if you don't attack it first. Alright, so now that we have our Ichor, let's proceed to the next step. Alright, so the next thing that you need to do is to find an alchemist. It could be a T3 alchemist or a name alchemist. It doesn't actually matter. So I'm talking about vanilla alchemists. They're actually okay. So the most common name alchemist in my experience is in the summoning place right here. So they're a low level camp, so it should be fairly easy to get them. The Darfari Witch Doctor is usually here. So that's the entrance, and it's here in the altar of Yog. So it's either a T3 that's here, or a priest, or an alchemist like that. Now, don't mistaken this for the Darfari Witch Doctor 2 if you have an Iwa mod in your server. So the Darfari Witch Doctor 2 looks like this. It's really gonna say Darfari Witch Doctor 2, and it says Sorcerer. That's not the alchemist that you're looking for. Now, you can also get Alchemist tier 3 or name alchemist in Supermaru. So this is where I go next if ever there's nothing in the summoning place. It's fairly a lot of them in here, especially in this area. So let me show you. So here you go. I am in Supermaru in this area right here, and the alchemists are usually here. So we have Alchemist 1, Alchemist 1, Alchemist 1. So what you need to do, especially if you're playing solo, you can just leave the zone and they will respawn, like a different respawn set. If ever you're playing in a dedicated server, I highly suggest you kill them so that it will make way for a new spawn. So this is just one of the locations in Super Mario that they spawn, so you can look around. You can also try in the Azaragath camp, and you might also find tier 3 or a named T4 Alchemist. So that's what you need. And of course, you can use the AOC Alchemist for this process as well. They share spawn points with Crafter, Worker, and Profession Thralls in the AOC camps most of the time. Alright, so now that we have the Crafter that we need, we go to the Alchemist bench. And here we are, we have the Witch Doctor, Vanilla. We have a T3 in this instance, a Hyborian Alchemist tier 3. And we also have the Felgarth Alchemist. So again, it doesn't matter which faction they're from. And we have a Dorfari Witch Doctor 2, which we're gonna try to see if it actually works or not. Alright, so now the Alchemist bench, you can craft that in a very early part of the game. You go to your feats, you go to survival, and then you go to an icon that looks like a cauldron. So it will say Fireball Cauldron. And that will allow you to craft the Alchemist bench. So just unlock it. Level 15, you can already do so. There we go. And the alchemy bench can be crafted using 50 stones, 100 wood, and 10 iron bars. So that should be very cheap. So once crafted, the Alchemist bench, and you have the crafters that we talked about earlier, we can try making oil now. So as you can see, without the crafters, you will not see an option to create oil. So if you have a T1 or a T2, it's not also going to work. Now let's try the Witch Doctor 2 from Iwa. That doesn't work, so that's why you need to be aware if you are trying to knock down a Dorfari Witch Doctor 2 or a Dorfari Witch Doctor, which obviously has the 2 symbol at the end. So for example, let's try with the tier 3. There we go. So as you can see, the tier 3 can already make oil. The tier 4, of course, the named ones. All the named alchemists for vanilla can make oil. And of course, the alchemist from AOC, regardless of any faction, just for demonstration purposes, we're using Felgarth, has the ability to convert Ichor to oil as well. So let's stick with the T4, and then you put your Ichor, and you also need a lot of bark. So you can get bark by using your pick, harvesting wood. All right, let's check if we have bark in my secret stash. Here we go. We have, luckily. We're gonna start converting Ichor to oil. So we're gonna craft one to see how much it converts. Crafting. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this will create 1:5. 1 Ichor is to 5 oil. There we go. And then let's make one more. And there you go. So say if you're gonna craft 10 Ichors, 2 oil, that's gonna give you 50. So 100 will give you 500. More than enough for your crafting needs. So please stop pressing those poor fishes mid-game to late game, because it's not just gonna be enough. And that would be all for this crafting quickie, and I hope you enjoy it. I'll see you on the next one.